Welcome back, future traders. This lesson is all about stock markets. We're going to have a look at some terminology, some functions of stock markets, and we'll close the session off by looking at some of the tools that we're going to use throughout the rest of the course. Pay attention, very important tools. I'm going to rely on them more and more as opposed to relying on the slides. I prefer working with the tools than working with the slides. Creating some nice slides and putting some definitions on there only goes so far. But for now, a couple of more slides and let's discuss stock markets. We've had a look at markets, the place where buyers and sellers come together, and a stock market is a place where the buyers and sellers of stocks or shares in companies come together. It's important to know that owning a share in a company makes you co-owner of the company. Even if you have one share of, for example, a company that has 100,000 shares, you are partial owner of this company. And then you can imagine that there are supply and demand factors at play. People want to be a co-owner of a company that is, for example, successful now or perhaps successful in the future. Now, as a retail trader or investor, you don't really have access directly to the stock exchange. In order to buy stocks, you often need to go through what is called a broker. A broker gives you access to the stock exchange and allows you to buy and sell stocks. In return for this service, they charge a fee, something very important to note when you're investing in something, knowing what your investment is ultimately going to cost. Brokerage fees are included in that, very important. Last term, indices or indexes can be seen as a composite of a certain amount or certain type of stocks. I think the most famous example of this is the S&P 500 index, which consists of 500 of the biggest and most popular companies traded on stock exchanges. If this went a little bit quick, don't worry, we are going to use the tools to show you exactly what that looks like. Some functions and characteristics of stock markets. First of all, the transparency. Prices and data are openly available to everyone. One thing important to note here is that prices and data are often not available real time unless you pay for that to your broker or trading platform. Real-time data meaning that the data is available to you as it really happens right now in the moment. Often in free platforms you have data available, but there is a slight delay. Now, as a trader, for example, this can be very negative towards your results because you just really want to work with the data right now and not look at data from the past. So we know now that the stock market is a place where the buyers and sellers of stocks come together, but there are two more important parties: clearing houses guaranteeing payment, and somebody, of course, needs to provide regulation. I don't want to dive too deep into the last two. I encourage you to do your own research on those, but they basically make sure that the entire process happens smoothly and, more importantly, perhaps fairly. Final slide. These are the tools that we're going to be using: FinViz, Koyfin and Tradingview. And the last two are the most important, especially the last one. And please create an account on both these platforms, both Koifin and TradingView. Because they are essential to the rest of the course. So let's just look at the first one first, FinViz. Don't be intimidated by everything that you see here, but this is a platform where you can see all types of financial data in relation to stocks, bonds, commodities, etc. For now, let's just quickly look at the screener. Here you can select, for example, the stock exchange that you would like to see, but you can also, as mentioned, look at indices. So the famous index here, the S&P 500, lists the companies that are part of this index. If you want to see all the companies listed on the Nasdaq, you can do so by selecting Nasdaq. So this gives you a good oversight of the companies listed on the Nasdaq stock exchange. Famous example here is Apple. You can see the ticker. Important thing to note, companies are noted by a ticker. You can see the sector, the industry that they're active in, country where they are listed and where they originated. You can see the market cap, meaning the total amount of shares that are out there times the price of each share. That will give you the market capitalization, more often called market cap. Price, of course, is the most interesting. That's what everybody looks at. And you can see the change in price. In this case, I think it's based on 1 day. So compared to yesterday, this stock is down minus 2.45%. Brief introduction, play around with this tool a little bit. Maybe you can find some stocks that you like. And and we'll get back to this tool a little bit later. Second tool, if you want to have a specific look and get more data on a specific stock, I like this very much. It's called Koifin. So let's look at Apple. Remember the ticker AAPL, and select the company at the top here, and we want to see the price. For example, we get a graph of its historical price. Now, don't be afraid, don't worry about what everything means, but this just gives you a little bit more detail on how price has been behaving over a certain time period. Again, same as FinViz, just have a look around. There's plenty of information to find about how to use these tools. I'm not going to do a full tutorial in this lesson. Do that yourself. And for now, we'll just hop on to the next tool, which is called TradingView, as mentioned. Here you can, for example, let's type in the ticker again, Apple. And we'll see price information mostly on the Apple stock. If you want to get a full chart, go to this screen, the full feature chart. And here, and we're going to be able to fully understand this chart later in the course in chapter 3, financial market analysis. But if you want a more detailed chart and play around with the chart, you can use TradingView. I use this the most often, the most important tool throughout the course. We will do a video on how to use it, so don't worry for now. Just make sure that you create an account here on TradingView and on Koifin, and just browse, have a look around, and see if you can find some stocks that you are interested in. So say, for example, you are interested in the developments of meat, like what is the future of meat going to look like? We can analyze a stock called Beyond Meat. Pretty hot stock, as they say, over the last couple of months. And this is something that we can look up in the top left corner. We can also, for example, look up Tesla. Just type in Tesla, you'll get a full list, but most of the time, the stock will come out on top, and you can do your analysis here. You can check prices. So that's it for this lesson, stock markets. I hope I've given you a clear overview of what happens in stock markets. It is really necessary to do your own further research on this, and definitely start using the platforms Koyfin and TradingView. As always, we've attached literature and some cool videos. Also make sure you check out those, and if you do, you will get the complete package and you will understand everything there is about stock markets in no time. I will see you in the next video, bond markets.